get played, we're in the position. And he's resigned. He has resigned. Nakamura, it looks like, has given up the ghost. Seeing what was going to happen, this rook is going to run amok, and Nakamura decided he didn't want to suffer, and Wesley has won the game and is now, well, of course there's 8 rounds to go, but we're going to hype it up a little bit and say he's leading the Grand Chess Tour.
He's leading.
That's a huge win.
Indeed, very big win against a player he struggled against. Nice and very important victory for Sal.
He's never beaten Hikaru in classical chess. Is that right? You've got their
that's
matchup
right.
results. I mean, of course.
A lot of draws thrown in, but also a lot of losses in Rapid and Blitz. He's gotten some wins in Rapid and Blitz, but way more losses than wins.
Wow.
Ultimate Blitz and in Leuven and Paris, he suffered more than he scored, and so this is a really big victory for a player that he's going to face again and again.
Exactly. It's really obvious what Hikaru actually, where he actually went wrong. I mean, at first blush, when Hikaru played this exchange sacrifice right here, you thought he had sufficient compensation. It was only, much, much later, okay, all of his moves look perfectly logical and reasonable. Where did the error come from?
But already when we had that D-file control, it was starting to look very ugly for Naka.
Advantageous, right? Yeah. Well, we'll ask the players themselves when they get into studio. In the meanwhile, how's it going with... Okay.
Well, with one of the leaders in the Grand Chess Tour, Hikaru Nakamura, the winner of Paris. Today, Hikaru, a crazy position for us, clearly preparation by you players. Where do you think you went wrong in this game?
I just forgot to play my preparation. I forgot to go knight d5. I mean, I'll move, move 17, I think, after rook d1. If I go knight d5, I think it's completely fine. I mean, I just simply forgot because it's a long, deep line. I hadn't looked at it in a while. Yeah, but after that, I don't know. I mean, I thought I was maybe okay. Actually, I thought Wesley did not play it very precisely. I mean, this whole king d1, king c2 idea I thought was kind of strange, But even after that, I mean, it still was difficult, but I wasn't saying things today either. Like, so for example, in my game around like move 30, I want to say it is.
In this position?
Yeah, like if you keep going, like basically everything I did in this game, like I miscalculated something. I mean, like, yeah, so when I played b5, king c3, yeah, b5, I mean, maybe b5 is the best move. Like, I thought bishop d5 was just a draw, and then I just completely forgot that on bishop d5 he trades and goes king d2. Takes king d2, b takes a4, and he just says rook a8. I mean, I saw rook d7, a6, and there's some a3, knight b4, and I thought it was fine, but just rook a8, and I mean, white's probably winning, I assume. So, today I wasn't saying things, so it's unfortunate, but that's life.
When you say you weren't seeing things, what does that translate that for weaker players?
I mean, it means you're calculating, you're just missing stuff. Like, you calculate, then you play it on the board, and then suddenly you see, not right away, but maybe even a few minutes later, you see some kind of issue with the line, and it's just, one of those days where it felt like everything I was just missing things. I mean, I suspect that it probably was okay, maybe somewhere in that game, but, I mean, everything I did was based on miscalculations, so, that's how it goes. And, yeah, and then even at the end, I'm very unlucky because after rook a8, knight d5, I'll move 32, I think it is.
While we get to that position, just to report, a draw did happen in the game between MVL and Nishigiri. So now this line right here, yes?
Yeah, like even here, like knight d5 takes, bishop takes d5 is just, it's like one tempo short. Bishop takes d5, rook a6. B takes a4, rook a4, like, and f5 is just one tempo too slow. F5, rook a5, c4, king d4, king g6, king e5, and white's just winning.
And if the king had gotten to f6, you mean, then...
I don't know, maybe it's still very bad, but, maybe there's some drawing chances. I don't know, maybe it's still losing, maybe everything's just losing, but yeah, it's just, whatever, I didn't really, play well, and I definitely didn't deserve to draw today, so that's how it goes.
Oh, tough day at the office. We hope you can clear your head and start seeing things starting tomorrow.
Well, I mean, it's like you just look at Magnus and Bilbao. I mean, the first round against me, he missed pretty much, well, not everything, but he just missed some very basic tactics and lost, and then put it together and won the tournament. So, I mean, it's very early. There are many more rounds to go.
Definitely early in the tournament. Thanks so much for your candid remarks, and best of luck in the rest of the games.
Thanks.
Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura, after a tough loss, but 8 rounds to go.
Being Nakamura today.
And possibly quite a big victory, because it may have been the first time he's defeated Nakamura in classical chess.
Yes.
Wesley, first of all, congratulations.
Thank
What does
you.
it feel like to finally get off the hump against one person who's going to be a rival for a very long time?
Yeah, well, yeah, rival. I'm very happy. I'm very glad. This is obviously a great victory for me. It's my first ever win against him in a classical time control, which is a big achievement. And we're going to be teammates, next month in the Olympiad. But of course, we're rivals now in this very prestigious tournament. So it's great. This is a great start. I'd like to thank the Lord and my seconds for helping me achieve this victory and also preparing this line. So very good. It's a good start for the event. I'm happy.
As far as the line is concerned, did you suspect that you were winning better, much better? When were the key transitions in this game?
Well, it's been very complicated all the way from the beginning. I mean, I sacrificed 2 pawns, but I have sufficient compensation for it. And then later he gave back an exchange to connect up his C pawns. I think eventually when I decided to trade queens on move 25, and I think it's good because otherwise it would have been very complicated. And then I got my king closer. And I wasn't sure about the evaluation during the entire game, but in the end he underestimated my A pawn, and then suddenly I'm just winning.
That was definitely a big move to be able to play A5 in that position. We're saying that you're the leader in the Grand Chess Tour. That must be a funny sounding phrase right now, given that you're tied, of course, in points, but you're not defeated your main rival. How do you estimate the start to the tournament?
Well, as I said, this is a great start. 8 more games to go, and I'll just take it 1 game at a time, and forget about today and move on to the next game. Eventually, concerning the standings of the Grand Chess Tour, there's still a lot of fight ahead. Concerning that, they only count 3 of the 4 tournaments that you play in. So I suppose that one of the players who did badly in Paris can eventually come back. So. Concerning the overall standings for the Grand Chess Tour, the winner of the Singfield Cup would clearly make such a strong impact. And it's hard to see who will win this tournament right now.
Certainly a lot of rounds to go, and I know if I ask you what are your chances of winning, you'll still say 1 game at a time, so I'm not going to bother asking that question.
Yeah, it's very hard to predict, but this is obviously a good game.
Well, congratulations on your victory and continued luck in the way you're playing.
Thank you.
Wesley So, winning the game against one of his definite key rivals, Hikaru Nakamura. A great way to start a tournament.
Thank you. And Wesley, sorry to let you go. First of all, hearty congratulations. Marvelous game. Kind of left me a little bit confused. Could you help point out where you think things really went wrong for Hikaru? Because he played a lot of very good moves.
He played a lot of very good moves.
Yes, but what was his mistake?
Well, it's hard to say. Perhaps when I played move 28, King D1, he might have a better option than that.
Right here.
Yeah, after King D1.
You didn't think his bishop takes A2 was the right move?
It looks okay, but there might be a better way. Especially, later on when I played King C2 and then Bishop C4, E3, apparently there's no clear way for him to equalize. So he must have had an improvement somewhere.
So you suspect that maybe right here his chances of holding the game may have rested on something like A6 and B5 rather than taking the pawn on A2.
Yeah, also because he has an option to attack my E2 and F2 pawns, for example, knight G4.
Right.
So he always has this.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, because it was a very, very nice win by you, a smooth win. But again, I just didn't really, I didn't peg the moment where I said, ooh, that's a big error.
Also, he doesn't have to sacrifice the exchange early on.
Right, but that's from the opening.
But that's from
Lots of questions definitely in that line. It looks like you don't want to give away too many secrets right now. Well, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And enjoy the evening.